This is Fantasy Banter HQ. Bold takes, sharp analysis, and zero filters.
And I just can't believe that they're just like insert Joe Flacco and all of a sudden they're back to being like decent and they're beating teams. And Joe Flacco's just like, I'm going to put up 350 yards passing after just having the entire season of being absolutely terrible. So what do you guys make of the Bengals actually beating the Steelers?
Though the in-conference stuff, the rivalries, those are tough games to really predict and be like, hey, this team is for sure going to win just because they're in conference, right? I don't know. I just think Flacco's connecting and he understands, hey, just throw it to Jamar Chase and you got a chance. If you can't figure that out like Browning, well, you got a problem. So I think Flacco's figured it out, and I think they're going to be competitive going forward until Burrow's back. So I thought for sure it was going to be a situation.
Why is Flacco better when he doesn't know the plays? Like he's better on every team if he doesn't know the plays. If he's prepared, he's like, I'm not going to be very good.
It's that backyard football.
If he shows up yesterday, he's like, I got nothing to lose, and he just starts tearing it up. And that's how it was with the Browns too.
Yeah, no pressure, right? What's the worst that's going to happen to him, right?
Yeah.
Just start slinging it. Hopefully it gets in there.
That's a real observation. It seems like this year he had a whole off season and was prepared and did training camp and all that with the Browns, and really wasn't anything spectacular at all.
Same thing with the Colts, right? I mean,
yeah,
I know he got thrown in there, but he actually knew the plays, and he's just like, I'm not. This is too much stress. And then he goes to a new team, and they're like, "Here's 7 plays that we're going to give you. Wear this wristband." And then the coach is on the sideline just going, 1. And then he's looked at his wristband, and he's like, "You go this way, you go that way," and then he just tears it up.
Yeah. So maybe he'll progressively get worse as the season goes.
Yeah, as he learns the plays.
Yeah,
exactly.
As we open the playbook to you.
Well. Interesting. I'm glad I didn't touch it in the survivor pool. And my rule, and I've talked about this before, is that I don't pick any survivor pool matchup that's inside the same division. At least that's what I did last year, and I lasted for a very long time. The moment I started picking inside the division is when I lost, because I just feel like this stuff just happens. It's craziness. Good game to have Jaylen Warren, though, who I actually had in the game. Before we move on to the first game, can I ask you guys a simple question that has to do with fantasy? Obviously, if somebody was to offer you, okay, this person doesn't have a tight end, and so what they want George Kittle, who's coming back off injury but playing the top team against tight ends this week, and then they want Travis Etienne, and they're willing to trade you a bunch of guys that are halfway injured. Okay, they're going to give you Dowdle, who is going to split carries, but who knows, Etienne might too. Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, and one other wide receiver that I can't remember the name, but it's nothing to really sneeze at. It's like a Calvin Ridley type of wide receiver. It's a big name that's doing nothing. What do you think about that trade?
That's a hot no for me.
Yeah, I would say no.
Yeah,
that's a lot of players. So I've never.
Yeah, so what I did.
For one.
What I did was I ignored the trade.
That's the worst.
And I did is I just straight up ignored the trade, and then eventually it got taken down. And so in my brain, the only thing I was thinking of was, what if, because I already have Brock Bowers who's injured, but assuming he comes back, I'm like, I trade off Kittle, and now if I could get Etienne out of the trade but still get Dowdle, right? I'm like, maybe Dowdle ends up popping, or maybe if Chupa Hubbard gets hurt again, hopefully he doesn't, but let's just say he does. Now I have some stud running back out of this trade. And basically what I gave up was my extra tight end, who's currently going to be my starter because Brock Bowers is hurt.
How many of those? Go ahead, Justin.
I was going to say that's kind of the perfect scenario. But I feel like with a trade, anybody who does this the appropriate way, their first trade offer is going to be just the feeler. So I don't know, was this their first offer? Have you guys been back and forth? Sounds
No,
like
I
you're going
did.
to be willing to get a better. I would assume you'd be able to, negotiate a little bit more than just taking that very
Yeah,
mediocre.
I think this guy just needs the tight end, but the problem is I need the tight end too because Brock Bowers is hurt.
So you don't even have a third. What have you been doing since Bowers and Kittle have both been out?
I got Myers in.
Okay, well, you kind of have that covered then.
Yeah,
Other
he
than
did a great
the
job.
Raiders, I think have a bye next week, so you're going to need Kittle next week.
That's true. All right, you talked me out of it.
Well, he doesn't have any tight ends, right?
No, I actually have the. Now that I think about it, I don't know why I was trying to sit here and guess because it was screenshot to begin with.
So you got
ETN and Kittle. ETN and Kittle is who I would give up. I'd get Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, Ramondre Stevenson, and Rico Dowdle.
That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible.
I'm like,
go back.
I would take Ramondre out of it. I would take ETN out of it. I could even take Pollard out of it, and just go Kittle for Ridley and Dowdle. But the problem is that Ridley's hurt. Dowdle was picked off the waiver wire like 2 weeks ago, probably.
Yeah.
And I need Kittle for one more week at least, maybe 2 or 3.
And Hubbard's back this week, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's an unknown. That's an unknown variable. I mean, there's always risk involved, but I still feel like you don't take that first offer. And I'd go back at least and take a look and try to upgrade something else. If you want Dowdle for that, possible breakout, then look at what his next tier up receiver is. I bet he's willing to part with him. He's just starting at the bottom of the barrel. And you do need Kittle next week, but I mean, I've gone through trades before. If you have it covered with Bowers and Meyer, then be willing to stream a tight end if the right deal is there next week when they have a bye. You can always do that.
That's some solid advice. I should go in later and try to grab. See, the problem is that Calvin Ridley was another guy that I was like, well, what if he turns out? But now he's hurt, so I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Green Bay, did they already have their bye?
Yeah.
Yep.
Or are you looking for guys coming off bye that you could put on your hate list?
No, I was saying, yeah, you could. If you did get rid of Kittle, you could always go whoever's playing against Green Bay because they suck against tight ends. So and go that route.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's
somebody on waivers.
I'm feeling a tight end start of the week, maybe.
Tight end start of the week.
Do you want me to go with it now?
No. I think we should move on to the first game, and then you surprise us when it comes up. Okay, and the first game we're going to talk about today is Vegas and Kansas City. Yeah, Vegas and Kansas City, and at first glance you might say, well, that game doesn't seem very entertaining. But then when you really think about it, they're only one game difference, and they're division rivals. And we already know how this division rival thing goes. We've seen this on Thursday play out already. Justin, give me your biggest fantasy starts from this game.
Well, Mahomes has turned into Mahomes again, and he gets Rice back. So Mahomes is the clear-cut biggest start, I'd say. I'm also just curious to see how much work Rice is going to get. Eager to see that.
Yeah, if you ask Yahoo in my guillotine league, they're like telling me to put him in. They're like, put him in. I don't want to put him in. But on Yahoo, it gives you at the bottom like who you should have in that's on your team that's not in.
Yeah.
And they want me to put Rice right in.
So do I. I mean, he was suspended 6 games, and we're all kind of going, I got Rice on my bench. Boy, when he comes back, I got that stud. And now we're like, I don't know if I want to start him out.
Yeah. Suspended 6 games also was out like half last season.
That is, yeah. That's
who knows what this dude's been doing for the last 12 months.
I have zero patience.
I mean? Yeah. So I might give it 1 week on the Rice. But I would love I would love to not do that and put him in. Patrick Mahomes is just freaking the freaking man. I am going to be playing Ashton Genty in my guillotine league, which of course everyone who has him is going to be playing him. But when you're in a guillotine league, I feel like it's a little bit different. I feel like I do have other options, but he had a good week last week, so he'll be in my lineup as well. And then with no Brock Bowers, who do you think is going to receive those targets, Justin?
I think Tucker will get some more looks as he has been. And then, of course, Mayer has been a nice, admirable fill-in when he's been playing and Bowers hasn't been. So,
yes. What's the Bowers news? Do either guys have that?
I don't have anything on that one, on the Bowers.
I feel like what they're saying is they're going to continue to rest him until after the bye. That buys an extra free rest week. So, and I feel like Vegas's bye is next week, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. So 2 more weeks on Bowers, and let's just hope that he comes back guns a-blazing, because I own him in 3 leagues. Got 3 shares. We're moving on because we've covered that game very simply and easily. Let's go Rams and Jaguars. Seems like the Jaguars are on a roll, man. Jaguars are on a roll. Should we give our we didn't do this last game, but I'm gonna say Kansas City is gonna win that game. What about you guys?
Casey.
Yeah, Kansas City. Yeah, easily.
There you go. So, it seemed like Shebass didn't want to pick Kansas City, but he's just following our lead there.
I had to think about it. I mean, it's an in-conference game. It's a rivalry. Kansas City hates Las Vegas. So.
Rams, Jaguars. I'm taking the Jaguars.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'll go that route too with the injured Puka.
Yeah. Yep. I'll go that route.
All right. Well, let's start with the Rams.
Injury updates.
I spoiled it.
Puka.
Puka's out. What's the update with Puka?
Copy paste from the Brock Bowers injury update. I think it's the same basic response that they have a bye next week and they're going to give him the 2 weeks rest.
Yeah,
and reevaluate.
So funny because when you look at the team's leading receivers, Puka Nacua has basically double the yards as Brian Thomas Jr. has. So that's pretty sad. Like Brian Thomas Jr. is going to play them this week, and at the end of this game, he will still have nowhere near as many yards as Puka Nacua, even with Puka Nacua watching the game from his couch, probably eating Doritos, probably on the sideline. Who knows? No, actually, it's in Jacksonville, so maybe not. Let's go ahead and say who's going to get Puka's receptions. Is it going to be Devontae?
Yeah, I'd see Devontae definitely eating up those targets. So I would expect he's going to have a good week this week.
Because we talked about this a little bit last week, is that like right away when CeeDee Lamb went down, it didn't look like George Pickens was going to be the guy for the rest of that game. But then the next game, he just had a monster week. So, and that same thing happened last week, right? Puka went out. Devontae didn't really light the world on fire. He didn't do anything. But, with a little bit of preparation, maybe we see him take off. What are your thoughts, Justin?
Yeah, I think Devontae will certainly have an uptick. There'll be a little additional for Tutu Atwell and then Whittington, some Higgins. But overall, I think it'll be a detriment to Stafford, especially in Jacksonville, whose defense has been pretty stout this season. So I wouldn't expect any kind of crazy Puka numbers for Devontae, but certainly an uptick from what he's been.
All right. Moving on to the Jacksonville side of the ball, I got a lot of stock over there in Travis Etienne.
He's my.
What are you guys thinking out? What are you guys thinking outlook? Is he on your sit list this week?
He is. Yes,
right.
He is actually on my sit list. So I got the Rams as a third best defense, and after not having much production, I think he had a decent game last game, but I mean, it wasn't anything where he started the season. So he is definitely my sit for this week in the running back area.
Well, I just gotta say that last week, when you call out Achan for going up against a really bad run defense, I said, well, do you think maybe he might catch some balls? Because that's what he typically does. And you were like, catch balls as a running back? That's ridiculous.
They're running backs for a reason because they can't catch
They're
anything.
not catching backs. They're running backs. Sit. Justin, what do you think about ETN this week?
Well, his trajectory has been going downward, and yes, the Rams are pretty tough. So I would, if I had other options, I'd use them.
All right, fine. I'll listen to you, Shebass.
But if you're like me and you go heavy on receivers and you struggle at running back, you're stuck.
Yeah, there are definitely places where you've got clear-cut 2 starting running backs, and you have to stick with them. But like I said, if you have other options, then I'd treat them more as kind of a flex or like a high number 3.
Okay, season to date, who has more carries, Kyron Williams or Travis Etienne?
Oh, Kyron Williams.
That would be okay. I was going to say, this sounds like a trick question because
that's correct. But that's correct. Who has more yards?
Travis Etienne.
There we go.
Yeah,
470 to 418, and Williams has had 95 carries to Etienne's 89.
You can't fool us.
We will never get one wrong.
I'm turning off my camera next time I do that so you guys can't see my lip quivering.
As you tell, let's play some poker.
That teardrop.
You're like, we're filming a podcast. Why is Cory wearing Ray-Bans? I have to prepare for this. Let's go ahead and move on to the next game. Dolphins Browns. I am going to say that I'm going to take the Browns. Only because I think it's they're the home team here. What do you guys think?
I'm with you.
Right.
Yeah, that defensive front is going to be a major problem for Tua.
Mm-hmm. Yep, agreed.
So let's move right on to Shebass here. What do you think about Achan this week?
I think he's going to have a tough time.
He's holding on. He's just going down with that ship.
Yeah.
No, we get it. It's hard to run on the Browns.
Oh man, it's tough. Yeah, you got one of the best guys on the defensive line, so it's going to be hard to hit those holes. But who knows? Maybe he gets out in the open again and catches some passes, like you said. He does.
He will do that. Especially if Tua's under duress against the line, he needs to find that outlet, and it is going to be Achan. So there will be that.
So maybe
Judkins wasn't on a team week 1. He was unsigned. Who has more carries, Achan or Judkins?
I would go Judkins.
Yeah, exactly. Because Achan doesn't get a lot of carries, man. He's just he's like a human joystick utility running back, pass catching guy. So he's a beast.
That's a heck of a position.
Yeah, that's his actual position. He should be able to be put in there. He should be able to be put in at QB on ESPN. Yeah. Who else sticks out on the besides Achan? Does anybody else stick out? I think Waddle probably on the Dolphin side. You guys starting Waddle this week? Or do you want me to hit the button, Shebass? The sits of the
I don't
button. No,
I don't have anything on him. No, he's not on my list anywhere. Not start or sit for anything. So
that depends on roster construction. I wouldn't. I wouldn't completely stray away, but he's not somebody I'm super excited to start either.
All right.
Right.
Are we starting? Let's just switch over to the Brown side of the ball. We're starting Judkins, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think of Fannin this week?
I think he's kind of one of those sneaky starts for me with Njoku being out, and he likes to go. Gabriel likes to go to the tight ends, and so I think Fannin's going to have a pretty decent game.
All right.
Yep.
I also have I have a league where I have to play Judy. So.
Well, if they're going to do it, this is the week. This is, the Dolphins are completely in turmoil, and that includes their defense. So you're telling me there's a chance, and it's this week.
So over under on Mike McDaniel's keeping his job through the season. What do you guys think?
Oh, under.
Yeah, what's the criteria? But under,
it was under. I was under for sure. There's no amount of weeks. There's no nothing. It's just
week 13.
How many more
he's
games?
Done.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's just two. It's got to be like 2-3 more. It might be this week if they lose.
Yeah, especially after Tua had that press conference and he was just throwing him under the bus.
Yeah, well, I don't think as much as I like Tua as a human, I wonder if he's this like a coaching nightmare or something, right? Because he didn't seem to get along too good with Brian Flores either, right?
Right.
And in fact, he actually showed under Brian Flores that he doesn't know how to play football. And then all of a sudden, Mike McDaniels went over there and he's like, "Just kidding, I can play football." And now he doesn't like Mike McDaniels, or he's talking trash. And now it looks once again, like he doesn't know how to play football. So
sounds like he's the LeBron of the NFL. Like LeBron
except for it's gonna be hard for him to take his talents to South Beach when he's already there.
Right. Yeah, he can't do the decision with ESPN.
Exactly. He's like, I'm gonna take my talents to the Midwest. And Indianapolis is like, we got Danny Dimes, we don't want you.
It's kind of like Aaron Rodgers too. Everywhere he goes, he seems to burn his bridge with his coach. But Aaron Rodgers is, one of the top 10 of all time.
When Aaron Rodgers gets to a new place, he fires the coach, and then he gets a new GM, and then he leaves. So
it's like, I left your place a mess. Ha ha ha! On to the next spot.
Exactly. Did you see A-Rod get tackled by his own lineman on Thursday's game, and then he got up and started screaming at him?
I broke a nail.
Back to the dark cave I go.
Exactly.
It was right after a touchdown. He was running off the field, all Aaron Rodgers excited, pumping his fist, and his lineman runs behind him, all excited, wrapped his arms around him, and they both tumbled to the ground. And Rodgers got up and started screaming.
I didn't see. Like, you know how many days I got to add to my darkness retreat now to heal this ankle?
He's like, dude, what did you do? The under on me or what?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It hurt me.
That's crazy.
That would have been pretty messed up if that would have hurt him. Like, it was like, that was done. That would have been rough.
Career ending.
We're going to move on to Patriots. Patriots Titans. I tried to get Drake May in my guillotine league, but I barely put down enough money because I didn't want to spend any money because I already had picked up Justin Fields, and that experiment isn't working out great, but I still have faith in it. So I only put down a few bucks, couldn't get him. Drake May this week, you starting him?
Yeah, I would definitely start him against Tennessee.
I would start him. He's kind of at that point where it's like, against anyone. Right now.
Yeah, I'm starting Drake May no matter what. 10 TDs, 2 interceptions, 1,500 yards. He's looking good, man. He's looking good for sure. Inside the top 7. So I was offered that trade for Ramondre Stevenson, and he is the leading rusher over there in New England. And I know you guys are big Henderson guys. Are you guys starting Ramondre this week? Are you guys just going to hold off for Henderson to pop and Ramondre to be relegated to the bench? Is that going to happen this season?
Well, I have actually Henderson and Stevenson in a league, and this is the first week I am just going to bite the bullet and start Stevenson. I am hopeful that Henderson does kind of start picking up steam, but man, it's taken a long time. Unfortunately, he's basically my flex in that league, so I don't have to worry about him being one of my top 2 running backs. So I'm not completely thrilled with it, but if anybody's going to get the touchdowns, it kind of seems to be Stevenson. He'll get the work inside the 5, but I think another fumble or 2 and we'll see the Henderson experiment.
So, like when you watch the TV show, The Vikings, I love that show, by the way. It's one of my favorite of all time. It's not like, like when a person has a kid, like they end up with like their dad's name as their last name with the son at the end. Like, like Leif Erikson, like Ragnarsson, right? you think that's how all these names became? Like, do you think that Stevenson's dad's name is Steven, and then Henderson's dad's name is Hender, and then Gibson's dad's name is Gib? You think that's how they got these names?
Well, conventional wisdom.
So,
That was a weird.
Somewhere along the lines.
That was a weird digression. Let's move on. Let's move on to the Tennessee side of the ball, just because I really don't feel like the Patriots side. I don't want to talk about Diggs or Booty. I'm sick of talking about those two guys. Are you guys starting those guys this week, though? Maybe we should throw that out there.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, you
I
are?
would start Diggs. Yeah, I would still start Diggs. I mean, you
I
never know
wanted
what's
so
gonna
bad
happen
for
with-
Shebats to be like, I'd start Booty, but not Diggs. That's what I wanted you to say so bad.
Yeah, I would not. I would start Diggs over Booty. So
I bet you would. Justin, it feels like you might want to, like you don't want to talk about this. So we're moving
I
on.
really have no opinion because they're not excited about either one.
Yeah.
I hope that you're not in a position where you have to start either.
Yeah, but Diggs did have a really good week this week or this
Yeah,
year.
and he could this week too. I just am more of a fan of consistency. It's just too much randomness with the Patriots receiving core.
Yeah.
I'm more confident starting Hunter Henry just because he is, he's kind of a target in the red zone, and he's had more good games than bad.
Yep. I'd have to agree. Should have went after him in the guillotine. I did not. I failed.
Injury updates.
We're going to move on to the Titans, and it looks like Calvin Ridley's out, which I think we all expected. You guys, do you think there's any fantasy owners that are super bummed that Calvin Ridley's out? Or do you think everyone's kind of said, finally, I could put him on my IR and pick up another guy?
Well, there's some excitement there for those who have him because he's had a good game in relatively recent weeks, and you just kind of hope that the rapport is gaining with Ward there, and so now kind of just put a kibosh to that, and we're gonna have to start from scratch when he does come back. I always find it interesting with some of these injuries where the initial diagnosis is reported to us that, yeah, this looks like it's going to be about a 2 to 4 week injury or 3 to 4 weeks, and then towards the end of the week or through the week, they're giving you updates on his status, and they're giving you hope that he may or may not play. And then finally Saturday, they're like, oh, okay, he's officially out. And then we'll find out for the next 2-3 weeks, he's still out. Well, why the first week? Didn't you just say it on Tuesday?
Yeah. But then what's even worse is ESPN is like, we're not going to allow you to put him on IR until Saturday, even though we all know he's out. And so they move him move him to IR. And then the next week they take him back off IR, knowing he's still not going to play for 2 more weeks. They'll move him back off IR. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So then
I'm not in one ESPN league.
Yeah, so you can keep him on IR as long as he's already there. But let's just say you're just shuffling guys around and you move him onto your bench. Well, now he's stuck on your bench until it says he's out again, which isn't going to be until Saturday again. And then you miss out on the guys that you need to pick up. So
do you think it's like the old Bill Belichick thing where he's like, hey, I'm not going to tell him exactly that he's going to for sure be out, but I'm going to make sure that they have to game plan for so-and-so, for Calvin Ridley.
That's what the Titans interim head coach is doing right now. He's like, I'm Belichick.
He's like, I'm totally going to have this over them.
That probably happened, but the other team's like, we heard the report on Tuesday that he's going to be out 2 to 4 weeks, so we know he's not going to play.
Right.
And then that same
day to day.
And then that same head coach is playing fantasy on ESPN. He's like, but ESPN doesn't say he's out. Is he out?
Right. So with Calvin Ridley being said, I do have a sleeper wide receiver start with Illick.
Sound the alarm. It's a sleeper.
For sure. All right. So I got Illick Manor. I think his targets are going to go up this week. And I think it's his opportunity now to kind of eat into Calvin Ridley's production. So hopefully
let's see.
We see something going on there.
Yeah, let's see what Cam Ward can do. He's really lacking when it comes to throwing TDs right now. So
he's got an allergic reaction to those. So
apparently
the Titans try to keep that with the running back area.
We should actually mention which running back you guys playing.
Ooh.
for Tennessee?
I would stick with
Yeah.
Tony. Yeah, I would stick with Tony Pollard for right now, until you see something pop off with Spears. But
Yeah. What really gave the answer there was Justin's look of confusion. Like, why would you ever play Spears? Like, that was the
I
look
mean,
on
it
his
seems
face.
like a 75-25 split
Yeah.
as of late. So
I mean, that's
yeah,
what's been like over the Patriots over there haven't really been lighting the world on fire with Henderson. So I thought you were all about Henderson. So I thought maybe you were gonna have like this really like insight. Like, I was watching the Titans practice, and it looks like Tajay Spears.
we have a whole season of this, so we have data to go off of. We had the Pollard and Spears split last year, and Pollard was more of the lead than Spears. Spears is electric, kind of like similar to Henderson, but we didn't have anything to go off of. We just saw Henderson in the preseason, and he looked phenomenal. So just passing the eye test, you're kind of like, I watch Henderson and I watch Stevenson. Like, what are the coaches seeing that I don't? That where Henderson doesn't have the clear lead role. It's just still seems confusing after 6 weeks that he's not kind of the lead guy over there. Maybe it's his pass protection. That could possibly be it.
Yeah. Or it's just Kraft going, I don't want to pay a running back. Don't let this guy be good. I need you to make sure this guy doesn't get too many carries, because then I have to pay a running back. Because this feels like he just hates paying running backs. This is
yeah. It's a Patriot. That seems like a Patriots thing, right?
Yeah. Patriots like, if I'm going to spend money, it's not going to be on a running back. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And they're like, we need to find a nice, jolly, tall, dude to play quarterback. I was going to say white boy, but that seemed really racist to say right now. So
well, I don't
I'm not going to say that.
What?
And they and they want Drake May's going to be one of those guys that doesn't take he's going to end up taking a pay cut to help the team. I can already tell by the way that he acts. He just seems so jolly. He's just going to be like, you know what, guys, I'm going to take slightly under market so that I can help my team. And then Kraft is just going to be like swimming in money, like, ha ha, I got away with it again.
Here's another take on that. You just said that they don't want to pay the running back, so they're kind of splitting the load. Maybe Kraft went to Drake May and said, I will pay you more if you don't make one of the receivers a clear-cut number one as well.
Yeah.
So spread the ball around. We won't have to pay anybody top dollar, but we'll give you more. And so I think Drake May's on board with that. That's why we don't have a clear-cut number one receiver.
Do you think Kraft was just getting like he was just getting a massage? Sitting in one of those massage parlors, and he's just laughing about the names of his receivers. He's just like pigs and booty.
If he hasn't, he's going to now.
After he hears this, he's like, that's a great idea.
Exactly.
Jets and Panthers. We're really chugging along today. Jets and Panthers. I will say that Bryce Young was looking good last week. He was looking great last week. He's looking like everything we wanted the friggin' Kyler Murray to be last week. I should have picked up Bryce Young. I'm still happy I don't have him. You never know.
He's a lot like Fields. He's kind of that, hey, I've got faith, I've got hope, and then they'll have a dud.
Yeah. But this season he's looking a lot better than Fields statistically right now when you consider the stuff that QBs are supposed to do, which is pass the ball and then have other people catch the ball. Bryce Young is looking a lot more like Drake May. He's got 1,150 yards on the year, which is he's within 100 yards of Drake May. He's got 10 TDs. Drake May also has 10 TDs, right? And then he's got 5 interceptions. Drake May only has 2 interceptions. So that's like really the only difference between him and Drake May right now. And probably the rushing. I didn't check the rushing.
I thought he would have been at 6. I feel like every first quarter Bryce Young throws an interception. Although last week it wasn't his fault. It went right through his hands into the defender's hands. It wasn't Bryce Young's fault at all. After that, he was like, watch me now, coach. Again.
I do love that comment, the it wasn't his fault comment, because that happens a lot, right? Where quarterback, it wasn't, but it still doesn't happen very often to the best quarterbacks, like the absolute top quarterbacks, almost like they don't even put it into a position where if it bounces off the receiver's hands, it'll it'll, potentially be picked. It seems like when a quarterback is really on a roll and they don't throw a pick forever, there's none of that. Well, it bounced off the receiver's hands and it wasn't his fault. It's so odd that happens to the worst quarterbacks.
I tell you what, it was such a weird, it was almost like, when the receivers drop the ball and then it kicks off their heel and then it goes up in the air and then the other team intercepts it.
Yeah.
It was just, Ted's got good hands. So it's just such a weird, like, what just happened there? Because it was right there in his hands and it just slipped through. Like, how did that happen? It's just one of those things where when we were watching the game, it was just kind of like, what the hell?
Okay, so you're starting Tet this week. We all are.
Does Shebass have any kind of like starts or sits for the week? I don't want to step on his.
I said Tet. I would sit him going against the Jets. I know Sauce Gardner hasn't been as good as he has been, but this game, I would probably have him on my bench unless you're in a situation where he's a 2 or 3 for you.
I mean, he's pretty much at least my 2 in every league I got him in, which is kind of weird because he's a rookie.
He's really, and he's really the only target Bryce Young has. I mean,
Well, Coker's coming back this week.
Is he back this week?
Yep.
Well, that solidifies. Yeah,
and Hubbard's coming back this week.
And if Sauce is on Tet, I would temper expectations as well. But you've got the element of Coker's back. It might help take away some of that attention. For instance, I have Tet and I also have Judy as like options for my third, and I'm going with Tet. And so like if you're in that sort of position where you have no other options, I'd still stick with Tet. But you just look what Cortland Sutton did last week against Sauce. He had like 1 catch, and he's been fire all year. So there could be that challenge with Sauce, and just kind of hope maybe he goes towards Coker a little bit of the game too.
That was a horrible game last week, though, as well. There's nothing that happened in that game.
If this is in the United States, we're probably in better position.
Yeah.
Oh, that was bad.
So you guys starting Dowdle this week, or are you guys pumping the brakes on Dowdle as well? Just due to the Jets, B, the timeshare that we're going to see.
I would start him. I think he's going to take away from Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard just hasn't had that burst quite like Dowdle has. So I don't. It is a Panthers coaching staff, so I don't know. They may go back to Chuba Hubbard, do the wrong thing, but the right thing would be go with who's hot right now, and Dowdle's hot.
Yeah, I mean that would be the. I would think that would be the best thing for them, knowing the last 2 games that he's had, and like you had said, Hubbard the first 4 games he had the workload, but he didn't look phenomenal at all. So it'll be a split, but Dowdle I feel like will get the bulk of the carries.
I just wanted to see what Chuba Hubbard yards per carry is. It's 4.1 yards.
Better than I thought it was.
5.8. Rio Dowdle's 5.8 yards, so almost 2 yards more.
Got to rock with him.
Yeah, probably.
But that would be a Panther thing to do, though, is go back to Chuba Hubbard and take it away from Dowdle.
Well, glad I'm not a Panther then. Let's move on to the other side. We got Justin Fields. I'm scared to start him now because of last week's horrendous. Almost put me out. Almost chopped me in my guillotine league. Like I was floating around like the bottom 3 right going into that last game. So, but I survived, and that's where I have him. Would you guys start Justin Fields against the Carolina Panthers if your only other option was Caleb Williams?
Wait, your other option? Your other option's Caleb?
Yep.
Okay.
And they're playing the Saints.
Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
In that position, so I'm in a similar position. I have Baker, whose receiving core is just decimated, but I'm still sticking with Baker just because I don't. You said you have faith still in Fields. I don't have faith in him anymore. I have hope because there is that potential for that.
I might be
30-point
interchanging
game,
those words a little bit. I might be kind of confusing those two words.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I would much rather, if I have a decent option to go a different direction, I want to give it a week. I want to see him put up another good game and, before I have to start him again. But very well could have, it seems like a game where he could very well go off, but I just don't have enough confidence in it since I have another option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But,
and like you said, you got Caleb Williams. I do have him in my start. So
I guess we'll have to talk about that when we get to the Bears.
Yeah.
You know what we should talk about right now, though?
Injury
Brees Hall.
updates.
Let's talk a little bit about Garrett Wilson. That's another reason not to start Justin Fields, right? His guy is hurt.
Yes.
Do we have an injury update on Garrett Wilson?
Last I saw was 3 to 4. So is that what you saw, Justin?
Much like Ridley, they didn't tell us until just today or yesterday that he was officially out. So after I always hear, well, he's going to miss some time. I didn't hear a 3 to 4. I didn't hear any kind of a number on how many potential weeks. They just said miss some time. And then at the end of the week, they're like, okay, it's official. He's out this week.
Yeah. It's a hyperextension of his knee, right? Isn't that what the injury is?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would be shocked if he's back before 3 or 4 weeks. And does New York have a bye in there? I think they got a bye coming up, don't they?
I don't recall. I don't have that information yet.
But
you know what I could have did instead of going to Garrett Wilson and talking about this injuries, I could have just parlayed right into Shebass's start of the week for the next game. But before we do that, should we just touch on Brees Hall, because is Brees Hall on you guys' start list this week?
Not mine. If I were to do official start sits, Brees Hall would have been a sit. You look at the season for the Panthers, and they're really stout against the run, and so he's gonna have a tough time running. The only thing that, kind of like Achane, hopefully he gets some dump offs because Garrett Wilson's gone. One other thing I'll sneak in there is that Mason Taylor will probably see a good amount of targets as well. So kind of a sneaky tight end streamer.
So don't trust the Jets this week, is what we're saying.
Nope.
Should we move on to Shebass's Chicago Bears start? We're going to go Saints, Chicago Bears. Starts of the week. I had no clue what was going to happen there when I hit that button. That was a little slow going. Probably shouldn't make these drops by hand while we're on the fly. That was rough. All of us just looking at each other in the eyes. I'm just like,
just waiting.
Waiting for the beat to drop. I'm like, where is it? Oh my gosh.
So I got 2 starts in this one. So I got Caleb Williams going up against that New Orleans defense, and they're 29th against quarterbacks. Drake May put up 27 points against them. Dart, he had 15.5 points against him as well. That was on 13 carries, 58 yards, 1 touchdown. So I would see Caleb Williams getting in the end zone on this one. Also going to Rome Odunze. New Orleans is 23rd, but 29th, 23rd. New Orleans defense sucks. So I see him having a heyday and getting over 100 yards and a touchdown or 2. So.
Do you agree with all that, Justin?
Yeah, I could see him putting up some numbers this game. And Chicago's
are you refusing to say heyday? Are you refusing to say heyday?
Well, if that's the official terminology, I'll get on board with that. We will have a heyday. Oh, heyday.
We got to get that in there.
There's the new drop.
You got to get him to stutter it, though. Heyday.
Oh, my gosh. He's having a heyday. Oh, my gosh. That drop is on the way.
That is happening.
All right. Who else can we talk about? We talk about Swift. We know that he's questionable this week, and one of you guys had him on your hate list last week, I think.
I had him on my win list after the game, so hopefully he continues that that trajectory that he was on and builds that momentum.
God, he looked good last week, though.
He did, yeah.
He looked good.
Pretty much everyone that was on your hate list last week looks great this week.
It's true. It's true. HA. We got Swift.
All right, let's move on to the other side. Alvin Kamara, I've been having to start him every single week in the league. Every single week, and he's always good for 10 points. Pretty much. He's old trusty. How do you guys feel about Alvin Kamara this week going up against those Bears?
This could be a good game all around. I mean, for just a lot of points, I would wouldn't surprise me to see one of those kind of crazy back and forth because the Bears really their defense isn't the greatest. So I could see Kamara putting up some more than 10, maybe not quite a heyday, but
yeah,
more than
Alvin
10.
Kamara right now is position ranked 24 on ESPN PPR League. So he is officially a RB2 in a 12-man league, just barely skating by. Somehow he's doing worse than Chase Brown. Must be from this last game because they put Thursday's numbers in there.
But I think your sentiments when you started talking about Kamara are basically everybody who owns him. Like, well, I have to start him every week, and he's good for 10. It's like, well, it's not the worst you could do, but you sure expected more when you drafted him.
Yeah, and I actually have Ashton Genty in that league now, so I can move Kamara down to my flex. I guess I don't necessarily have to start him.
Got to feel better there.
Feel a little bit better there. Are there any receivers that you guys are starting Olave this week or anybody else?
I would start Olave. Mm-hmm.
Let's say, what do you guys think the chances are? We're going to move on to the next game. We really haven't been picking many games. This week, we're picking games out because we haven't done that very much. Unless you want to do it right at the end. We can make up for all the games that we missed. What do you think the chances are that the Eagles lose 3 games in a row?
I think it's possible. Coming in here, it seems like their chemistry is just not clicking right now. So I think we're catching them on a downslide right now.
AJ Brown's doing his thing where he's whining about receptions, which I don't know if that excites me or scares me as a AJ Brown owner. He did this last year and he ended up tearing it up after. So I was hearing a little bit of every once in a while I'll catch the fantasy show that's like the local fantasy show that they play like on the radio.
Yeah.
And those guys were saying that they think Devonta Smith is about to blow up because they were saying it was like PA and those guys saying that AJ Brown is ruffling too many feathers over there. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Have you guys heard any rumblings?
Well, I honestly don't see him having a good week this week because the Vikings have the number 1 defense against fantasy receivers. So, I mean, it's going to be tough to get your receptions in this week. Good luck to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be a coaching nightmare. I mean, knowing that the way to beat the Vikings is to run the ball. And if he's grumbling on the sidelines in the media, you got the coach going to have to sit him down and say, listen, we'll get you some passes. We'll get you some numbers, but it's not this week. So just hang tight there, buddy, because, like you said, this isn't the week to do it. And if anybody's going to have a big game, it's going to be Barkley this week.
Yeah, he's like, so what are we going to do then? And you're like, we're going to tush push all the way down the field and score every time.
Just not
exactly.
If we can get 3 yards every time on the tush push, we'll get a first down.
Yeah, which is pretty much what pretty much they can too against the Vikings, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Now I did not get Saquon in my league or in my guillotine league. I was not able to pull that one off. But I do think you mentioned it. You nailed it. I think Saquon's probably going to have a nice little game here. I think he may have a game. And so, Sheb asked, you want me to hit the drop for start of the week, or I'm just kidding.
Yeah. You can. I would go with both of those. Did you want to hit the button?
I don't actually have that button. Start of the
week. Okay.
Hey, Dave.
Wait. Do it again. Do it again.
Start of the week. Start of the week. All right.
All right. So actually I got two. So Saquon Barkley, which has already been mentioned, but then Jordan Mason. So Philadelphia's run defense just isn't good. They're 29th against running backs. So I can see Jordan Mason having a pretty good week here as well. Yeah, and then Justin Jefferson, obviously, you're going to want to start him. So I got him as a starting wide receiver, and then keep TJ Hawkinson on the bench. I would not even think about starting him at all.
I think Oliver is actually leading the team in touchdown receptions right now. Basically the other tight end. Who is the Vikings playing at QB this week? I have not been paying too much attention, but I just assumed it was going to be Wentz again.
It's Wentz. They came out with it yesterday and said they were going to start him. So, so you get the nod again.
That helps the fantasy guys on that team. Did they say why they were starting Wentz? Was it they're pretending?
I think it was ankle. Yeah, it's his ankle. JJ's the emergency third this week.
Yeah, and it's a high ankle sprain. I mean, those are tough to come back from. They're typically 4 to 6 weeks, and we're going on week 4. Is that right? I think of that injury, or are we going on week 5?
I think it's got to be 4.
Yeah,
it happened in week 2.
That's probably exactly what they're telling JJ too. He's like, but it doesn't even hurt. And they're like,
it doesn't hurt.
This take a while to come back from. It can take 6 weeks, 7 weeks. Once the pain stops, that's only the beginning of your recovery process.
Yeah. So those high ankle sprains are difficult. Like it's in any of the sports, right? So they're completely different than a regular sprain. Regular sprain, you can come back from within 2 weeks, but that high ankle sprain, it's typically on that outside of that ankle, and it's just hard to. Man, they hurt. I'll just tell you that.
Sheb's talking like a true, football player, former football player who's been put in the blue tent a few times.
Yeah, I love the blue tent.
I'm kind of curious from a Viking fan podcast here perspective. I know Cory, you're kind of like, well, it's hoping that Wentz stays in there from the fantasy perspective. I have the luxury of not having any Vikings players, so I don't have to worry if Wentz or JJ's playing. But if I'm being true to myself, we're not winning the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz. So I would much rather get JJ in there, get him his experience, and get him the lumps, and try to win some games. That's what I'd rather see.
That makes sense. That all makes sense. I just like seeing that gunslinging JJ getting freaking 10 grabs a week, and
it's
I don't know.
It's a lot more fun.
Yeah. I just hope that somewhere on the sidelines, JJ McCarthy's holding one of those Surface books, and he's like circling all the plays that he sees Wentz doing. He's like, "This is what I'm supposed to do." He's over there with the pen circling number 18. He's like, "This guy is good." That's what I'm hoping for.
And I'm tired of seeing all the social media memes and TikToks about how garbage JJ is after 2 games. I mean, he had a really bad second game, bad first 3 quarters, but he had that magical fourth quarter where he's got it in him. And how there's so many things out there about how we made the biggest mistake ever by trading Darnold because JJ is a bust. And it's like, how is anybody saying this at this point?
And we've kind of proven that we can turn any one of those old former busts into a usable quarterback at this point. There's nothing exciting about it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens here. From a fantasy perspective, it just seems that Wentz is putting in some good work. And it almost feels like if JJ comes in, you got to bench your Addisons and these guys that you don't know if they're going to get any work, right? You're still going to play JJ, but you're going to bench the other guys until you see what McCarthy is all about. So
true.
Yeah. I was kind of bummed out that they went with Wentz. I wanted to see Brausmer and just see how he did.
You would.
Dude, watching his progression last year with the Gophers and going into the Big Ten and him just picking up on things and getting better every game was something that I wanted to see from a quarterback. So I wanted to see him get in there. And if he has a good couple games, maybe we're good at the quarterback position. We got JJ McCarthy and then we got Brausmer, and then if McCarthy takes off, right, like we're expecting, Then we got another guy that
I just want to have one of those QBs like Jaden Daniels that comes in and just changes everything, and all of a sudden the team is good. And then every time he gets hurt, the team's bad again. Like, I want one of those QBs.
Makes that much of a difference. Yeah,
exactly.
I hear that.
Yep. Quite a few more games to go through, guys. And we're already at that hour mark.
Let's do this.
Go with some rapid fire here. Colts Chargers. We know that the Chargers had a sleeper alert last week. So are we going to, which running back are we starting for the Chargers? I'll let one of you guys say it.
Vidal. Yeah.
There we go. Starting Vidal. Starting Herbert. Herbert's having a very, very, very good season this year. Which wideout are we starting for the Chargers?
I'm going with Ladd McConkey. I think he had 14.9 points 2 weeks ago. Last week. He's had 2 good games. 23 last week. 14.9 the previous game. So his targets are starting to tick up in production. So
one thing on that, Johnston's been out the last 2 games. So if he comes back, I'd still go Johnston. If he's still out, you go McConkey.
Johnston just straight up took his fantasy job. Colts side of the ball. Daniel Jones. I love how Sleeper has him wearing an Indiana Jones outfit on the actual.
Yeah, that is funny.
On the actual photo. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Scatterboos?
No, what's his?
Scatterboos got that crazy like big-eyed look that he has.
That's funny.
His is pretty good too. But the Indiana Jones thing is funny.
Colts side of the ball, Justin, who we starting? And we're moving on. I'm trusting your opinion here.
JT, you start without thinking about it. Warren, you start without thinking about it. You're going to be happy to hear Pittman will probably be the number 1 target earner as far as wide receivers go, since Downs, it looks like he's going to be out this week.
I needed that. in my life. Moving on to the Broncos and the Giants. Everyone's afraid of the Broncos defense, and I took Scatterbo out of my lineup last week and put him on the bench, which is one of the dumbest things I've ever done in my life. And now they're playing the Denver Broncos. What's your thoughts on Scatterbo this week, Justin, going into this matchup?
I'm not excited about him.
Okay.
And I don't know, that could bite me, but I don't like playing anybody against Denver, especially.
I mean, his biggest game of the week was last week, the week that he was on my bench. Prior to that, he was in my lineup. So
against Philly, who's 29th against the run, you got to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Scatterbo will not be scoring 3 touchdowns this week.
Yeah, I mean, he only has 5 on the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, what starts do we have over on that side of the ball? Slayton, I think, is out still, correct? Little injury update there. So Wandell is going to probably be the guy if you got to start somebody on that side, but you're probably going to try to avoid those guys, correct?
Yeah.
I would love to avoid them. In my guillotine, I'm in a terrible position. I got Ibuka who's out and Garrett Wilson who's out, and I have to start Wandale this week. Not thrilled about it.
So it's kind of weird because in these guillotine leagues, I feel like you're talking about how you have all these injuries, and last week there was a guy in my guillotine league that he just basically texted me like, "Hey man, it's been real playing with you this year." And I'm looking at his lineup and he has all these injuries, and we're both kind of laughing about how he's definitely cooked. He's getting chopped, and he ended up being like top 4 on the week just from picking up dudes and playing these scrubs, and it ended up working out for him. So you just never know, man. It seems like the guy that going into the week, like on Yahoo, it'll say like you're safe, and it'll tell you like who is not safe, and it's like it's almost like never right. Like I watched as my safe thing was ticking over into at risk.
Yeah.
It's like the projected points on ESPN. You know, you're like, oh yeah, this is going to be an easy win this week, and it's projected 140 points, and then you're like 115. Yeah. Why did my guys not show up this week? What the hell?
So hey guys, if the Giants beat the Broncos, is this official that the Giants are good now? Do you think there's even a chance that they could beat the Broncos?
No chance.
0% chance. 0% chance. Okay.
If they beat the Broncos, I'm out of our survivor pool. So let's.
So I got Jackson Dart as a QB sit, and then I got Scadaboo as an RB sit. If I don't have to play him, I'm not playing him. But unfortunately, I have to play Scadaboo and I have to play Jackson Dart, I think, in my guillotine. So I'm stuck. I'm screwed.
You're cooked.
You have to play Dart? There's only
Yeah.
I do.
12 teams
Yeah,
left.
I think
there's gotta be quarterbacks
whoever I have for a starting quarterback is on a bye week. So
okay.
Yeah, we should
Lamar
definitely
or
check. your-
Josh
and I
Allen?
think I'm just gonna roll with it. Hopefully I make it. So
All
we'll
right,
see.
move on to the Broncos side of the ball here. Let's see, who do you think Sutton's a start this week?
Sutton's a start every week.
J.K.
Yeah.
Dobbins to start this week. Pretty much the reason why I tee up these questions is not because I don't know the answer, but it's because I'm looking for a nice response out of you guys.
Do you like Sutton's a start every week?
If you think Sutton's a start every week, yes. All right. Well,
Yep.
I think maybe we should move on because
I didn't
right
know
now,
Seabass was frozen right there. No.
I didn't either because he was like,
Yeah.
I was gonna respond and just say, yeah. I mean, Cortland Sutton for sure is. If I have him on my team, I'm starting him every week. He's in one of those top guys, and he's Denver's top receiver. So
yeah, I don't have him on my team, so I don't have any kind of inside.
I have him
knowledge
on
about
one team, and I've started him every week. I'd never have him on the bench. So
Packers Cardinals. I think that the Cardinals are probably not going to win. Unfortunately, I would like the Cardinals to win. Kyler Murray not having the best season. He's not having the best season of his life right now. We talked about Alvin Kamara being Mr. Mediocrity at the running back position. Kyler Murray kind of seems to be that at the QB position, but he is also leading the team in rushing yards. So,
Kyler Murray is.
yeah, he's leading the team in rushing yards. So, I think that's pretty funny.
Up, though, right?
That's
do.
surprising to me. Kyler doesn't even. I mean, he runs a little more than he had been, but it's not an overwhelming amount at all.
I suppose they've been banged up at running back, so I guess that kind of makes sense because they've been going through the guys. But yeah, it's still shocking.
Well, I wonder if they're taking guys out that are on IR because that could be. That could be. The rushing yard total is very low. It's 173 yards, 29 carries. It says season leader though. So
interesting.
Yeah, pretty weird. I think we can see a Trey McBride game this week, and so I'll probably slide him in again and take out Ferguson again, unless you guys are completely have a different take on that. And you guys can convince me.
I got him as a start. Green Bay's 30th against tight ends, so yeah, completely comfortable starting him, especially with him being the number 3 tight end. So
and he's Trey McBride.
Yeah, and he's So do you guys think Trey McBride is a start this week? He's a start every week.
Yeah.
What if you had 2 starting tight ends like Ferguson?
Where did Mickey Mouse come in here?
He's a start every week.
Is that going to be a new drop?
Yeah, we do need to have a nice Mickey Mouse drop.
I mean, he's got 5 of 6 games so far this year. He's been plus 10 on points, so he hasn't dropped below that except for one.
And Jacoby seemed to look for him quite a bit. He had his best game last week, and it was with Brissett. So no worries at all.
Yep.
Yeah. So is Brissett starting again this week?
It sounds like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I did hear that on the radio yesterday as well. Yeah, I'm the only guy that still listens to the radio. Let's move on to the Packers side of the ball here. Let's list off your starts, Justin, for the Packers.
Jacobs and Kraft.
Jacobs.
Yep.
And Kraft. Commanders, Cowboys. Going off of your theory here that everyone blows up against the Cowboys, is it time to put in Scary Terry again, or are we still scared of Scary Terry? Are we more scared of him than he is of us?
Drop that injury alert.
Here it is.
Injury updates.
Terry's out again this week.
Oh. I don't know why I thought he was back this week because I'm holding on to him. Holding on to him. He's with Rice. I'm holding on to him in my guillotine league.
Well, that's the tough one because typically you can have him on IR. But there was encouraging updates with him, at practice or walking. I guess that's encouraging to see him walking. But just this morning or yesterday, they officially called him out this week. So
yeah, I don't know why I thought he was back. Who are your starts here? I'd like to hit Sheb on the Washington side because he loves Bill Krosky.
He's on there. He's on that list.
He's on there.
If you got a commander, man, receiver, quarterback, you're starting him. I got Jaden Daniels as a start too. Dallas. I know I said to sit Young last week. I mean, Young only had 14 points against him. I thought he did a lot better than that. Am I wrong on that? Can you check that, Cory?
How many are you talking about last week for?
How many points Young had on him? Yeah, I felt like he did better than that, but it's 12. Yeah.
I mean, Dowdle had the huge game last week, so he didn't necessarily need to have a monster game.
Yeah, but I mean, you're safe starting Daniels. You're safe with Krosky Merritt. You're safe with Deebo Samuels. Any of those guys, you're good starting. So
Bryce Young had 18.4 points, his second biggest game. 18, of the year.
Okay, maybe I forgot to add.
But his biggest game was against the Cardinals. So are we just starting all these people?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Should we go? Okay, it's Justin's turn.
Injury updates.
Move on to the Cowboys.
Yeah. CD Lamb coming back this week.
All right. How does this impact my boy George Pickens?
That's not the best news out there. I don't think you can expect for him to go back to the week 1, week 2 George Pickens, but it's going to be more in that realm than it has been the last couple of weeks, unfortunately.
Yeah. Do you think maybe we could see after CD Lamb touchdown, George Pickens tackle CD Lamb the way Aaron Rodgers was tackled?
Yeah. We'll see how CD reacts. If he's friendly about it and laughter ensues, or if he's going to punch him in the face.
Rattle off your Cowboy starts and we'll move on, Justin.
CD, Dak, you got to start Pickens. Ferguson, I guess Williams. Yeah, most people who have Javonte want to start him.
Well, there we go. Let's move on to the Falcons and the 49ers. Do you think that Penix size matters yet or no? No.
I don't know how to.
No.
Doesn't appear to.
It never does.
It never did. Justin, who are we starting on the Falcons side of the ball here?
Well, Bijan and Drake are the two no-brainers. Don't really want to start Pitts. He puts together a couple of small games here or there, but not eager to start him.
No. 49ers side of the ball, Sheb, who you starting?
Oh, 49ers, well, obviously McCaffrey. And then Purdy's out again, right? I believe.
Yep.
So I think Mac Jones will be starting again. So, yeah, for sure McCaffrey. That's
what's funny is that you're saying this. I'm just looking at the season leaders at the different statistics, and McCaffrey is their leading rusher and their leading receiver.
Yeah.
So
I don't know who else I would start. McCaffrey's just a for sure start. I don't know if I'd start anybody else.
Hesitant for Kittle, because if he's coming back, you want to see what the workload's going to be. But that's the case with a lot of players that are coming back this week. You don't know what to expect. And Kendrick Bourne has been really targeted heavily with Mac Jones, so that's an interesting, sneaky start if you've got him and you need a bye week replacement or wide receiver 3. But the only concern there is with Kittle coming back.
Yeah, eating into some of that production.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lions, I really hope that the Buccaneers can pull this one off. I would love to see the Lions lose.
Yeah. I got who do you want to start with? You want to start with Tampa Bay or
Well, since you kind of led up to, you're like, who do you want to start with? You're like winking at me. Let's start with Tampa Bay. You're in the side chat, like start with Tampa Bay.
If I got White, I'm sitting him. Detroit's defense against the run is 6th, so I don't think we're going to see much production out of him unless he's catching some passes. But I'm sitting him. You got Mike Evans coming back. So I think that's going to eat into well, is Godwin back too? Or is he out again?
No. Godwin's out. Ibuka's out.
Okay.
Bucky's out.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean if you got Evans, definitely start Evans. Otherwise, I don't know. Those other guys were getting some production though last week. The one guy, I thought he was getting MVP chance. I can't think of who that was, but
yeah, and we're talking about the other guy.
Yeah. Those are for Baker Mayfield, not you. Yeah, and then for sure I'm starting Baker Mayfield if I got him.
I just love how you're like, who are we starting with? Are we starting with the Buccaneers? I'm like, yeah, and you're like, everyone's out. Don't start anyone.
Yeah, except for Baker. And
Yeah.
is anybody
Baker
wondering
and
why
Mike
they're
Evans.
chanting MVP? I mean, he's getting it done with whoever he's got on the field. He's making it happen. I didn't hear officially about Evans. Is he officially back this week then?
I saw that he was, but I
Okay.
guess I would keep an eye on the report till tomorrow. But yeah, as far as I know, he's back.
If he is back,
So-
that's great because I got him in the Empire League, and I didn't know he was back.
Yeah, he was supposed to be back possibly last week, and he ended up being out. So I
Fantastic.
guess I would keep an eye on it, just double check and make sure that you got a backup in place in case he's a game time decision. But yeah, if he's
as
playing,
a Baker owner, I'm extremely excited to eventually see the entire wide receiver corps all healthy together because we still have yet to see it, and he's still putting up ridiculous numbers. So once that happens,
yeah,
I mean they're looking really good this year.
yep,
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if that even happens, if that ever comes to fruition with these guys.
Yeah.
Justin, Lions side of the ball, starters.
This has potential to be a heyday game all around. So
It's a heyday.
I think Tampa's a little bit stout against the run, but I think the only one that I'd be hesitant on is Montgomery. I pretty much start everybody else.
All right. I'll definitely have St. Brown in. Don't tell me twice. Moving on to the final game of the week, which is Seahawks and Texans. And see if the Texans can keep it rolling. See if they can keep that ball rolling. Because I'd like to see Stroud succeed. I'm a Stroud fan. I'm a big Stroud guy over here. And I do have him in the Empire League. He's been sitting on my bench. But he's got to go in now. Because I got Kyler Murray as my other guy. So need a big Stroud game. Shebass, Houston Texans. Who you starting?
I am starting Schultz. He is going up against the Seattle defense, which is 25th against tight ends. So I had 11 points last week. I would imagine he probably put up similar numbers this week against Seattle defense.
I feel like Justin's
then,
a little bit upset because of who you're probably going to say next, and he didn't get to say it. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Shebass.
Who said
ahead, say it.
CJ Stroud?
No, it's not him. Keep moving.
No. Who? Nico Collins.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
Actually, it was Woody Marks.
Yeah, I'm. Oh man, dude, that backfield is such a mess down there. Oh man, you just don't know what's going to happen down there. I think Chubb had the majority of the carries last week, and it's just like,
yeah,
dude, some consistency, just like New England, right? You just don't get that consistency down there, and it's you guys have things down there. If you just went with one guy, you'd be gold.
Yeah, and we've not heard anything about Mixon. Not even he's out the rest of the year. There's zero reports. I'm so confused about that whole situation.
Yeah, because he was out. Week 6 is what they said he was going to possibly be back, right? And he didn't.
I just heard he was on the PUP, and then the PUP's 4 weeks, and as soon as it was like, well, he's eligible to come back, but he's still not gonna. And there's just no reports on he's still out another 4 weeks, or there's just nothing.
Yeah, odd. But yeah, start CJ Stroud, start Nico Collins, Dalton Schultz. If you have to, maybe Chubb. Woody Marks I would stay away from right now, just because we don't know what the hell's going on with him. So that's
All
my
right.
Texans.
Seahawks. Justin, who you starting?
Seahawks, that's a tough one. You want to start JSN. Definitely. He's kind of the absolute start. Yeah, hesitantly start Walker.
Alvin
Houston's defense
Kamara's
really
having a
good.
better year than Walker so far.
Right. You're just kind of waiting for Walker to turn into Walker, because the ability is there. It's just they don't give him enough of a workload, and you're killing his fantasy value as well as Charbonnet's. So it's really discouraging that not one of them is a clear-cut number one. And then I think Houston's number one against the pass. So there's going to be some challenges there for Darnold. And oddly enough, Seattle doesn't play as well at home as they do on the road, and they're at home this week.
Which is funny because Darnold played lights out in Seattle last year when he played for the Vikings.
Yeah,
Remember that? Rolled left, hit JJ in the end zone at the end of the game. That was an awesome game. That's what got him a $100 million contract.
Yeah, certainly wasn't the Detroit game.
That's one of the Detroit games, or one of the Rams
Ram games.
All right.
They're like